Well, hey guys, welcome to a very special episode of Health or High Water podcast. I'm your host, Tripp Parks, brought you with Krista and Michelle from Beat Parkinson's today. I cannot wait to dive in and talk to these two about what they do and all the good that they're doing through the community around here for Parkinson's seniors in the area. Big place in my heart too with my mom having dementia and the group of demographic that I get to work with dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. Their company just really filled my heart up, and they reached out, and I just couldn't be more proud and excited to have these two on. But a quick word from our sponsors for genetic testing. I want to thank Gene Planet for helping me make programming very easy for my personal training, nutrition programs, because they tell it all. Workouts, nutrition, supplementation, injury risk and prevention, cancer risk. It makes it very easy for me to program my wellness individually with genetic testing. So if you guys are interested, go to geneplanet.com, search premium genetic testing, and use code APT for 30% off. That's code APT for 30% off. Guys, welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you on.
Thanks for having us, Tripp. We're excited to be here.
Oh yeah, 100%. So tell me how you guys got into this, and you guys have grown a whole bunch here. Give me the lowdown. What's the story? How'd you guys get into this?
Well, 19 years ago, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's at the age of 40. So never did I think I would be here on this journey back then, but here I am 20 years later. And when I was diagnosed, like I said, I was 40 with young children, a career, and I was, like, what is this disease that I have? It's an old people disease. I'm not old. So it was a couple weeks or a couple months of, oh my God. And then I found I'm a pretty positive person normally, but I took the high road and I said, I'm going to beat this. And so I found in Canada, someone told me about a professor who was doing some research on exercise in Parkinson's. And I was a PE teacher. So that kind of fit my style. So my husband and I went right up there, met this doctor, learned about his trial, and kind of did it from a distance from in Connecticut back home. And he was the only one that was really studying exercise in Parkinson's, and no one was talking about it. It was not heard of. My doctors, what happened was I went home and I started exercising. I hired a personal trainer to work with me. We came up with some exercises just through our own trial and error. And I went back to the doctor 6 months later, and she said, Michelle, you're actually a little better. What are you doing? And I said, exercising. And she said, well, whatever you're doing, keep doing it because it's working. So here I go. I had a support group that I started for young onset Parkinson's. 15% of people with Parkinson's are young onset, and so I was that lucky 15%. So I had a support group because I went to an old people support group and left crying because I saw people with wheelchairs and drooling and couldn't move, and so that was not me. So I started a young group and we started exercising together because they saw me being successful. And so it grew and grew to where it is today. And we are now, we have virtual classes, which started with COVID, like everybody, but they've become very successful because the older population sometimes can't travel or get transportation to a class. So they do it right in their living rooms and they love it. So we have classes, and people from all over the world are now in our classes. And
That's awesome.
And we have classes in Connecticut and North Carolina in person because that's the two places that I live. And we have over 350 people in our classes. Over the years, we've had 1,000 or more people, but with progression and actually, unfortunately passing away, that's our population. They move on. So that's where we stand today, and that's how I got where I am today. I'm retired from teaching school, but I do this. We have a nonprofit called Beat Parkinson's Today, where we host these exercise classes for people with Parkinson's.
Well, thank you guys for what you're doing. Just a huge thank you for, I work with this population too, and there's just not enough people in this. There was no support group down here when I got down here, and it's to work with the population is eye-opening to see what happens. But on a good note, to see how impactful exercise is to help with these things, right? It takes
Yes,
a little bit
yes,
of hard work. It takes consistency, but to see people grow, even with this nasty disease, is inspiring. Hey, listen, like we can fight back, literally, right?
right. Well, we were in a trial with Yale University a couple years ago, and so the 13 people from our classes were in the trial, and they had a brain scan at the beginning and 6 months later, and the brain scans showed improvement in every one of the people that were in the trial. So we are the only program in the world actually that has the brain scans. They're very expensive, so we're looking to do a phase 2 trial with more people and more scans, but it's costly. So we're looking for funding for that. But it showed that we can change the plasticity of the brain, and the benefits. And so now every doctor, every neurologist is saying exercise is the best thing we can do to slow the progression and stop the symptoms, or slow the symptoms too. But it's when you see people come to class who have never exercised before, they start exercising, their whole perception of life, their quality of life changes in a couple classes.
Yes.
I mean, within 1 or 2 workouts, because they're empowered to have that control over it, and they can see it, feel a difference. So, that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me doing this. It's a lot of work, but I love doing it. And when you see these results and people changing their lives, and people have told me that their lives have changed, and their families have seen their lives change, then it's totally worth it.
Well, I love that too, and you got proven results. That's incredibly, I would say, rare in
Yes.
this kind of environment, right? People are
Yeah.
just kind of throwing darts at the board and hoping for the best. Which we want to do everything we can, and if that works, cool. But you guys are doing this with a scientific method, and I really appreciate that. A lot of the listeners that are listening right now, over 55 years old, a lot of them have Parkinson's, dementia, all those kind of things. Could you tell a little bit about like how this disease impacted your family, and some things that might help somebody else out? Like, hey, listen, we meal prep, that made it really easy for us. Or could you maybe go through that with us, the whole family aspect? Because a lot of people that are listening right now are going through the same thing, and maybe at the beginning stages, and they're probably a little bit lost.
Well, I'll start and then I'll let Krista go. So it was at first we didn't tell people. I just kind of kept it to myself. We told our kids were 7 and 12, so they were little, and I didn't want I didn't want my life to change as a mom. I wanted to be the same mom I always was. So I think I did that pretty good. But I had to prioritize what I did, and if I had to wash the kitchen floor or exercise, I would go exercise because that was way more important. So I had to keep myself healthy. I also didn't want it to become my whole life and overtake my kids or my husband's life. I have a great support system, and I think part of it is to build a support system and accept help from people. My mom was around and still is around, and she used to make a meal for us once a week. And chores I had help with. So that as a mom with a young family, and I still worked for many years after, you have to prioritize things. And I'll let Krista talk because she's actually my daughter. She now works for me. She works for the program, and she's a huge part of the success. But as a daughter of a person with Parkinson's, she can tell you how she felt.
Yeah. Thank you again for having us. And yeah, I am honored to be working for my mom's nonprofit. I've done a lot of fundraising and a lot of events over the years, but now I'm officially part of the staff as I take a break in my teaching career as well. So it's been, like you said, eye-opening to kind of see it from the internal perspective of the progress and the impact that our classes have on each of the individuals. But speaking from the perspective of a daughter, a family member of someone, with Parkinson's, I think, what's important is that mental social emotional support that you give them, because not only does our program support people physically, but it also provides that community, and people are going through the same thing as you, and it just feels like there's a connection, like I can talk to somebody else that has those hardships. And when my mom was first diagnosed, I was little. I mean, my brother was even smaller, and we weren't really sure what it meant. I wrote a blog one time that really explains like emotionally how I felt, and it was hard to accept, because it's like, is she sick? Is she going to get better? What does this mean? And even still, like it's hard to understand like what actually is going through her body on a day to day. So it definitely affected our family, and at first it was a little like, how do we share this with other people? How do I rely on my friends and my other family members to support me? Because that's a hard thing to, as a family, to be burdened with right away, and then figure out how to move forward. But like my mom was saying, I think two things that I would suggest as a family member is, one, positively just supporting your family member in the best way that you can, and recognizing that some days are harder than others, and to be there, whether that's physically or emotionally, or just sending a text or calling them or going on a walk with them. That's the first thing I would say. And then we're a big athletic family. So exercising with the person that has Parkinson's, I think doing it alone sometimes can feel very overwhelming, and our classes sometimes are challenging. So we even invite like caregivers to come to classes or support them at our events as well. So just like being there with them and showing them that, I can do it too, and that, physical activity is healthy and great for everyone, not just the Parkinson's community. So supporting them in that way too.
Well, I love that. I mean, it is common sense. Everyone should be working out and trying to keep themselves as healthy as possible. But just the impact that, especially things like boxing and what you guys are doing with Parkinson's, is huge. I mean, hand-to-eye coordination, working on strength and conditioning, bone development, muscle development. I mean, 1 out of 2 women after 65 have osteoporosis. So this is good for everybody, but especially for Parkinson's, to build neuroplasticity and those kind of things. But I get on the family aspect of this, because as a kid myself, or I guess I'm grown up now. I'm a grown man.
Adult kid.
Does a mustache help at all?
That's an adult kid. You know
Yeah.
what? Once for a mom, you're always her kid.
Well, it's hard for the kids in the family, I think, to like you said, Krista, to accept what's going on, to kind of alter your life, and at a young age for you to do that too, super commendable, too, right? And your mom was saying that you guys stepped up. I think that's huge. The family has to be the root of the support system for these things, and like you said, going to events, being there for them emotionally, just sitting with someone. There's sometimes I have sessions with my Parkinson's patients or clients that I just talk a little bit, just because hey, listen, the words right now mean a lot more than these pads.
Right.
They just need to be heard. I mean, the senior communities I work at too, some families don't visit, right? And you guys are hands-on, even helping people that are not able to get to you guys. You guys are offering online classes. I think that's absolutely fantastic. So one thing I really want to ask you guys is, you got this going on. What do the next phases of this look like? And then a follow-up question of that is, how can people help you guys? How can we help you with how can especially the listeners right now, help you with your mission?
Well, I can start, and Krista again can follow, because we're actually in that phase right now. We've grown to a point where we're busy. We're real busy. We have a small staff, and we have so many people and so many classes. But we want to hit a bigger crowd, a bigger amount of people. So we're looking at partnering with hospitals. We have some local hospitals here and in Connecticut that we're partnering with, and trying to grow that, expand on that, to partner with them and have a resource, a class in every hour throughout North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and have classes locally for people. So through the hospitals who can finance and help finance them, and subsidize them, so it's cheaper for the people. So we're doing that. We're also trying to partner with home care businesses
Yeah.
because people are stuck home and they sit in their chairs and they have a home health aide come and help them with their chores or groceries or bathing or whatever. But why not have a home care come and do the exercise video with them? And whether it's live, because we have live classes through a platform, or the video recordings, and have a home health care person do a class with them. So that would be more beneficial than washing their kitchen floor. So we are trying to partner with that kind of facility. We do personal training as well, and we could go into their homes and do it. But a cheaper, easier way is just sign up for the video or the online classes, and when they come in, you can try a class. So those are two avenues we're working on. And funding, Krista's the fundraising queen, so she can talk about that because that's where we need help. So Krista, you want to take over?
Yeah. I know that my mom briefly talked about the Yale University study, but we're actually doing another separate study that is looking for funding too, which is just the barriers of access to transportation and access to classes. So we're looking for funding for that to figure out ways to just make the classes more available. And as you know, the virtual classes and online classes are great, but there is something about going in person, getting out of the house, building the community, meeting face to face. So we're trying to figure out ways to fund that study. But in terms of locally, we are in North Carolina, so we do have two fundraising events happening in North Carolina this year. One of which is a 5K. It's going to be our first one. It's a 5K race that's happening in May. That's open to all the community. We're hoping to get people involved that are, related to the Parkinson's community and not, but just sharing about our cause and spreading awareness of, exercise is medicine. That's always been our logo and our motto, and, that's for everybody. So that's one event we have coming up, and then we also have an educational symposium that's more geared towards Parkinson's people and their caregivers and families, but we have that coming up in October. Where we'll have local expert speakers come and speak and share insights and just different strategies and different things that they can, the Parkinson's community can use to better their quality of life. So we have a lot going on this year, but we're excited. And, for those that want more information, they can go to our website and, read more about how to register as a participant for either one of the events.
If you guys are interested, there's going to be a link right below either this video or the audio. Just look in the description and you'll be able to click right on for Beat Parkinson Today website. Go straight away, even just to check it out for me if you guys can. Go see what they're up to. Bare minimum, donate something. Help them get some education and some more exercise in the community. What I want to touch on real quick is working with this demographic. I see a lot of people that feel embarrassed. Right, I have this disease. I'm making everybody's life harder because of what's going on, and I think that's almost like a phase of accepting this. Is there is that embarrassment phase, right? My mom's going through it right now. Still, she's embarrassed that she's got this stuff going on. I think that happens with a lot of cognition issues. What did you guys do to help get through that process? And obviously, you guys turned that around to be proactive. So how did you guys do that?
Well, there's a couple things. Being a burden is one thing, and no one wants to be a burden on their families. That's one of the reasons I exercise so hard, is because I want to stay independent. Also, cognitively, 85% of the people don't get cognitive delays, but 20% do. And you don't know if you're one of those people or not. So when you start cognitively losing it, that's a burden you can't help at that point, really. But, trying to stay healthy as much as possible. But being embarrassed, not only is it a burden, but, you look weird sometimes when you have Parkinson's. You have tremors, you shake, you become herky-jerky. If you've seen Michael J. Fox lately, he's, herky-jerky, and that's called dyskinesia, which is an effect of the medicine, actually, because you get too much stimulation. But also, for instance, for me, sometimes I'm in the grocery line and I'm trying to get my money out of my wallet, and I'm a little slower because of my fine motor control. And I'm fiddling with my wallet and my money, and people are behind me, and you start getting more nervous, and then you get slower. And so it's that embarrassment too. Or sometimes I limp because my right leg drags, and when I'm tired, and people look at you weird. So that's also the embarrassment part, is you don't want to look weird. You don't want to look different. You don't want people to help you and hold the door for you because you can't open it, or so that's all mental. You have to just at some point, I'm 59 years old. I don't care anymore what people think. You kind of have to take that attitude. I mean, I can't say I've always had that attitude, because I was working. I didn't want my students to think I had a disease like this, or Krista's friends to, say weird, your mom's weird or looks weird, or, I was her basketball coach. It's during some of that time. So, you try to be the best you can, and then you have to really, people want to help you, but you have to not care, and just think positive, and do the best you can through it all.
I've got to agree. I think, mindset is the number one. Mindset and schedule for me are the two big things you got to worry about, is mindset and schedule. Keep it on as best we can. That helps so much. Quick word from our snack sponsor, Beerski Beef Sticks. If you guys are looking for a healthy snack alternative that's not in a grocery store, that's 100% beef, 100% cow, looking for some protein for your kids, great option. Go to beerskibeefsticks.com and use code HOHW for 15% off of your order. That's code HOHW. So guys, I have thoroughly enjoyed talking to you guys, because there's so many parallels that I'm having with my life, with my mom, and you guys are a family duo getting after it. I couldn't be more proud of what you guys are doing, more excited to see what you guys do with this in the future, and can't wait to hopefully be part of some of your guys' events in the area here too. But you guys have anything else you guys would like to promote? Events coming up, maybe some classes you got going on. But let's let you guys plug what you guys want to say, and yeah.
Okay, well, we have classes in North Carolina at Novant Health at the hospital. They subsidize them twice a week. Free classes free, Tuesday, Thursday at 10 o'clock. We have classes in Leland and at Trinity Landing, different places. We're growing in this area. In Connecticut, we have 10 different locations in Connecticut. So classes, in-person classes, we have. Virtual classes, we have 7 days a week, mornings and evenings. So every day of the week you can get classes. We have different levels of classes too, advanced and beginner. So that's good. So we try to hit the whole population. Our fundraisers that Krista talked about are coming up. Fundraisers are great because they bring awareness to the disease, and they bring some money in. We are a nonprofit. We don't have a big staff. We need more help. We do have a board of directors that's very helpful, but we could use volunteers at our events, or at any time of the year. We also are looking for some donations. Some big donors, some companies that have money or that have grants that I hear there's grants that aren't being used. The hardest part about grants is, and I'll let Krista talk about it, but not writing the grants necessarily, but finding the right ones.
Right.
So if we can say something to the population that's listening, if you know anybody, if you have money that you need to spend and you want to donate to a good cause, we're looking for a big funder, a foundation of some sort. And if you have a company that you worked for, or
Uh-oh.
Oh. Well,
I've never had this happen during a podcast.
I'll continue
Yeah,
speaking.
go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, so just the donation aspect. Yeah, I mean, we're looking for anyone that's willing to give back to the cause, whether you're connected to the Parkinson's community or not. But every penny counts, and it's important that we, you know, figure out ways to use that money, and we use that money to fund, more trainers, find more trainers, and to, you know, open up more classes. But I wanted to give one more plug about our program specifically. I know there's a lot of other exercise programs out there, specifically working with the Parkinson's population. But like we had mentioned before, I think what makes us different is we're evidence-based. We have science backing us. We have brain scans. We have various doctors and neurologists that are, internationally known, backing us and supporting what we do. And I think the second piece is that our classes are different than just boxing. We offer interval training. We have stretching. We have visualization. As my mom spoke to, that was a huge part of her journey even today, is that positive thinking. So every class we always end with our mantra, which is think strong, move strong, be strong, beat PD today. You know, repetitive in your head. You're strong, even on those hard days. There's strength in you, and we find ways to support that and empower you to find it. So thank you again, Tripp, for having us, and we're excited to continue collaborating in the future.
Yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys coming on as well. No worries. We'll have to have you come back on for season 5.
Yeah.
See where you guys are at. We have some clips and stuff like that we can play for the audience about, some collaborations that we've done and show you guys off. But thank you guys for spending time on this demographic. Thank you guys for coming on this podcast, and thank you guys for doing what you do. Really appreciate it. Hey guys, check out Krista and Michelle from Beat Parkinson's today. The information is below here. Take a quick look, even just for a second. I don't say this on the podcast very much, but get off your seat, off of it, and go out and help the community. This is a great option to do if you're in the Cape Fear area. You guys can get on social media and talk about, I want to help, and all these kind of things. This is your opportunity to do so. So help a demographic that really needs it, needs a loving community. Check them out on social media. That'll be a link below too. But thank you guys so much for coming on. I can't wait to have you guys back on.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay.